Hello everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about the swimming catch phase today. And the goal of swimming in the catch phase is to collect water out front that's usable and then push it behind you so you can move further forward. And so what I see a lot happening is people just putting their hand in the water and pressing straight down and not collecting and then pushing backwards. And so at some point in your swimming, if all you're doing is pressing down, you're just directing water down. So at some point, how much faster you want to go is going to be limited because you're not directing water behind you. And so we want to fix that. So there's two ways that I see people learning to swim. And I'm not talking about the swimmer who's been swimming forever, who's a collegiate swimmer and a high school swimmer. You may benefit from this as well, but I'm talking about the swimmer who is starting later, that's learning that catch phase. And the first way that I see people learning that is that internal rotation of the shoulder with that really high elbow catch. And so what I'm showing here is you're entering, and then you're really pulling that elbow up like this, and then pulling backwards with it. That's really challenging to do. And if you are somebody who's starting swimming late, I really don't recommend learning that because one, it's just really difficult to get into. And then to do that motion over 1,500 meters or a half Ironman or an Ironman, I don't see a lot of people actually executing that stroke. And a lot of times what happens is when you're doing that stroke from like this, if you do it incorrectly, all you're doing is you're just pushing down. You're not actually pushing behind you, you're just pushing straight down. So the way that I coach a lot of swimmers to execute that catch phase is a little easier. And I look at it more of a enter out front, turn your hand in, thumb up, okay? And then push back. So enter, turn in, push back. The margin for error is not as great when you're doing that. So the likelihood of you just pressing downward instead of pulling backwards is better. And so again, when you're thinking of it, enter, turn in with your hand, and then push back. And so two, your goal is to create a strong paddle that you can use, which is your forearm, okay? So when you're doing this, chances are a lot of times what I see too is people pulling back, elbow first, hand second. And so that paddle isn't in a position to direct water backwards, it's in a position to direct water down. So if you turn inward like this, that paddle is flat, you're collecting it, and you push it backwards through here. The second thing is making sure that the catch is deep enough. So if you're catching through here and it's too shallow to your chest, there's too much moving water right through here that it's not usable. So you need to enter and then pull through deep enough, maybe about 12 inches below your chest to make sure that's usable. And again, you're pulling water backwards and you're not pulling water down with that. I hope that you found that helpful and just keep working on it. And it's not an easy thing to do, but just make sure that you are collecting water. You're not entering the water and just swiping. You're collecting water and you're really using it and you're pushing back with it and it's deep enough. If it's too shallow, you're not going to get as much usable water to move forward with the stroke. So I hope that helps and all the best.